This is another AI trick or a prompting hack. This is a system, a way to lock in your inputs once and let AI work like a trained teammate, not the clueless enter. Now, a lot of people have this idea that, oh, AI sucks, or AI doesn't really give me what I want. At the end of the day, AI is just a multiplier. So 0 times in millions to give you 0. So you have to make sure that your inputs actually good enough for you to get the most out of AI. Think of it like this, right? You're not just writing a prompt, you're building an operating system for your ideas. You just need to create a JSON, and I'm going to explain to you guys what a JSON is. And with that, you can get infinite high quality outputs with almost zero context switching. You're basically cloning your creative brain and handing it over to the AI, whether it's Claude or Gemini or whatever AI you use. Most people play with AI. Only the top 0.1%, right? Healed with what I'm about to show you. So this single trick that I'm going to show you is going to take your prompting from beginner to like God level, right? You're going to know how to really use the strategy that I'm going to show you in a little bit. Why most AI outputs feel like generic junk, right? And the blunt truth is 90% of AI outputs sound the same. And that's because everyone is feeding the AI with half-baked prompts, with zero strategies, with no clarity, no positioning, no depth, right? People just go on ChatGPT and write me an email or create the short email. I want to send it to this person, and that's not going to give you the 100x outputs and the quality that you deserve. So I also want you to think of it like this. Imagine you're hiring a top writer, like the best world-class writer. You don't give them any background, you don't give them any sort of information, and you tell them to write a landing page in 30 seconds. And that's what most people are doing with AI. And they wonder why their output feels like generic. And so without a context profile, AI will always default to the surface level contents, right? So if you want a distinct high converting output, you need to feed it your language. You got to feed the AI with your strategy. You have to feed your AI with your voice, your tone, right? And so this is something you're going to be doing on repeat. AI has to understand the full context of what you're talking about. So that's basically what a context profile is. The ability to give AI an instruction and pass in enough context so that the AI can give you a high converting output. You can have the best prompt in the world. You can spend 30 minutes up to an hour to write in the best prompts. And if you don't have the right context, prompt is going to be useless. With context, you stop retyping or you stop reusing, right? AI isn't the magic, but with the right setup, it feels like it. So yeah, context is equal to the code for the AI brain, right? What this looks like, yeah, if you look at ChatGPT or maybe use any of these AI tools or these AI apps, you find out that when you're chatting with ChatGPT, it looks like you're just typing some text, right? Or you're just toggling a fancy UI. But to the AI, everything is JSON. And for those of you that don't know what JSON means, it just means a JavaScript object notation, right? So what you're looking at here is a JSON. This is basically the natural language of AI, right? So whenever you say something, AI is going to assign it into a JSON. So this is how a JSON looks like. It looks like kind of code, but it's not like programming language. It's just a way to annotate things, right? Like for instance, first name is Sam, last name, Jackson, employee ID, and his designation is a manager. So that's basically, this is what you're looking at right here is a JSON file. It's in JSON format. This has all the information about who Sam is. Just by looking at it, I know that Sam's a manager, I know his employee ID. That is how this is what AI sees. AI looks beyond your natural language. AI looks beyond all the fancy words you're saying, and it just takes out the raw information. The AI takes out the raw input and it puts it like this, right? So whether you're asking AI for anything on ChatGPT, on Claude, or if you're using Cursor or any of those platforms, this is what it comes down to. This is the ones and zeros that the AI uses to understand. This is the natural language, like I said, right? This is what is passed into the AI agent. And that way the data is written, and this is how the AI responds at the end of the day. So this is basically what I'm trying to explain. So I want you to think about it like this. You're not writing to a human, right? When you go writing prompts and everything, you're writing to an AI that reads structured context as code. So that's what it reads. It reads the JSON as code. So the cleaner your data objects are, and by data object I mean your JSON, the cleaner it is, the more arranged it is at the how it's descriptive will determine how sharp and how on brand your output will be on the first take. Same way you're going to do for ICP, for your ideal client profile, it's the same way you can do it for your offer. It's the same way you can do it for the tone. If you have a brand, so you make content online, you're into content generation and stuff like that. So with this, you're going to know how to make the most use out of the AI you're going to be using. AI can't guess what you haven't told it yet. So when people go ahead, the 95% of people, and say, create me an email, the AI doesn't know the context of who they're writing the email to or who the recipient is. So you have to understand that clarity in is equal to quality out. And if it sounds generic, it probably is generic. The prompts, the context, and everything before you send it to the AI is generic. So what this actually is, a context profile is a layered briefing document, right? It is part positioning, it is part prompt memory, and part brand Bible, right? So it's a cheat code that turns generic AI into a high performing strategic assistant. So I want you to think of it like you're not just giving the AI the task, you're giving it a lens, right? You're saying, this is who we are, this is who we help, this is how we speak, and this is what we never say. So that's when you feed the AI with this amount of context, you figure out that the AI actually does things the way you intend it to do, right? It doesn't hallucinate, it doesn't like make up stuff, and it's always on brand. It basically takes you from 0 to 95%, right? It does almost all the work for you. And then you now, as the human, you evaluate, you review, and you make corrections where you want. But it takes you from 0 to 95 using the strategy that I'm about to show you guys. So why does this matter? Most people treat AI like a tool, but the elite operators, they treat it like a clone of themselves, just like I mentioned, right? They train the AI to sell, they train the AI to persuade and ideate with context. So that's the difference between men and money. That's the difference between the people that are actually doing stuff and the people that they just make generic stuff that you see all over the internet. So what lives inside a context profile, right? So every AI prompt needs at least 3 layers of clarity to perform like a pro. And like I mentioned, the first one is ICP. Second one is the offer. And the last one is your brand, your tone, right? Those are different context profiles that you can feed into your AI. I'm just going to be showing you how to do it for the ICP. And like I said, it's going to be an interactive class. I'm going to ask questions, especially when we hit the practical side. I'm just going to touch on one for now, and you can apply the strategy onto the other ones in the future. So this system I'm about to show you turns your raw data into a strategic knowledge base. At the end of the day, you want to create a knowledge base for your AI to make use of. And this is how the pros do it. Like I said, we're going to be touching on this one in particular. This is called the ICP context profile, right? So we're talking about the who that shapes the what. So this is the data layer about your buyer, about your client, about your ideal client, their pains, their language patterns, their goals, their objectives, and all this stuff is going to be turned into an AI readable profile, right? But what if there was a way that you could put a whole profile of what your ICP is into a context profile? And anytime you're feeding it to the AI, you're only feeding in one format, one input. And that same thing, you can reuse it time and time again to create other kind of stuff. And I'm sure you might be wondering, okay, if I have the context profile, what kind of output do I expect? So what this is going to do, right, is that it's going to improve the output, is going to resonate because it knows your ICP, it knows the language to speak to them. And it uses language that your audience would use, right? Like when you're talking to, let's say your ICP is into real estate, the copy is going to be fine-tuned to real estate. Why this is critical? If the AI doesn't know who it's speaking to, it's going to write like it's guessing. If you remember the analogy I gave at the beginning, just like having a top writer that's in the game, or you don't feed it any profile, any context, and you just say, hey, build out this landing page or write a copy for this landing page. It doesn't know who it's speaking to. So it's basically just going to be guessing. It's going to be using surface knowledge. So the ICP is the added depth, like the icing on the cake that just completes it. It's the last piece of the puzzle that makes everything make sense. So when it knows your ICP, it talks like a sniper. It talks directly. It's precise when doing stuff like that. So these are best used for output, like cold emails, for instance. If you're into outbound, right? When you know your ICP, the AI will be able to know how to write the best cold emails. It's going to take you from like a beginner cold email outreach up to a way advanced, top of the class copies. And it's also going to talk about landing pages. It's going to give you good landing pages that will nail the pain points right at the point And for the purpose of the demo, I think I'll be doing a landing page because I feel that will drive my point home the most. And you're also going to see how I go ahead combining the context profile with instructions and other prompts to get a very reasonable output. You can also use it to make sales scripts that skip the fluff. You can also use it to make sales, void generic weak messaging. So this is exactly what a context profile can help you do at the end of the day. It not only does it improve your output, but you can rinse and repeat for every other type of output you want. You can rinse and repeat for content, you can rinse and repeat for landing pages, all with the same context profile. So you don't really need to change that. You make that once and you can continually keep using it at the end of the day. I'm going to show you guys how we're going to create the ICP context profile. So I'm just going to ask you the question and you're just going to answer it. See it like ICP session or consultant moments. I'm just trying to help you define your ICP.
The job title or the primary role in the company, it would be CEO, founder, lead builder, something like that.
Okay, CTO, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, lead builder, something like that. What the size of a company is, ideally under 10 people.
Under 10 people?
Yeah.
10 employees, you mean?
Yeah. Pool building?
Okay. Give me another one.
Yes, they're the founder, decision maker. If I do get people with more than 10 employees, that would be great. But the solution I have is specifically for people that are not that big and that have 20 employees. Yeah.
So let's say under 50 employees. Does that work? Or do you want it like, I think that should work. Okay. So what geographical region are they located in?
I'm focusing right now on Florida.
I just said the US. Okay. Let me just limit it to the US. Florida is fine. It works. Yeah. Okay. What age range are you looking at?
Oh, you got me there. No, I have no idea. Maybe late 30s to 50s, in their 50s.
Okay.
Maybe even earlier. I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up, but yeah, let's stick to that because I want to have people that don't really have much technical expertise so that I can step in and help them out.
Okay, so late 30s upwards. And another point, you don't need to have all your answers, right? You don't need to know everything about your ICP. You can also let the AI do its research and find out, or you could take your time and do some research. But I'm not putting you on the spot, so don't worry. For any part you don't know, just let me know. I'll just let the AI do that for you. So what is your business model?
What the company business model is, B2C. Team structure is usually one general contractor, which manages the entire job, and then he basically subcontracts different things to different people.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. What are their core desires and ambition? Like pertaining to the use case that you're trying to solve for them.
Most of these people went into pool building because they wanted a quick buck, essentially. They don't want to be working for the rest of their lives. They basically just want to create a system that scales and more money, and then it's about prestige for them.
What are the deepest fears and insecurities? Keeps them from taking action or making change. Because I bet like what you're trying to introduce to them might be something new, something that they've not heard of. So what do you think? This is more like in a psychological angle. What do you think you mostly come across when you talk to them?
When I talk to people in general is that they don't, like I'm selling voice agents. The voice agent is essentially just like the entry to what I want to offer them. What I want to offer them is more like a system that will help them manage their entire workflow. But I can't just give it all to them in the first place because it would just be too much.
Yeah.
The main issue that I see with people is that they are scared to relinquish control over something that they're doing themselves right now. However, at the same time, they're actually losing money because they have to like manage so many different things at once.
So scared to relinquish control, and say that they're scared of the unknown, like when there's a new technology and they're probably like not familiar with it.
Yes.
Does that make sense? So how do I
Exactly.
phrase that? Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. What beliefs or mental models do they hold about success?
They believe that they have to qualify their clients before they actually take them.
So it's more like quality over quantity, right?
But the thing is that what I've found also is that most of the people that I am trying to service, they all worry about getting more and more clients.
So that's your beliefs. But what was your ideal client? What's your ICP? What client would you want to work with? Would you want to work with someone that has that mental belief and model, or you want to work with someone that's more of, I don't really need much, but I just need high quantity. I need like high ticket. I need people, the upper tier. Is that what your ICP is, or that's what like you've been noticing from the average market? Or
yeah, it's just the things that I'm noticing in the market, seeing as I'm talking to people, et cetera, et cetera. That's the thing that I'm getting from these people. In terms of who I would prefer to work with, honestly, yeah, okay, people that would like to take quality over quantity, that would be good, yeah.
all right. Okay, how do they define personal or professional success? Like, you put yourself in their shoes. How would they define success?
I don't know about personal, but
Okay,
in terms of professional, most people want to create a system that will work without them. Legacy is a big one for them.
So their ideal future self, what does that look like?
Work very few amount of hours, earn a big amount of money, be very well known in their community.
Do you have any thought leaders or influencers in this space? Anyone that you know of? Anyone that's really up there?
There's three main companies that supply most of their equipment. One is Fluidra. The other one is, I can't remember. I'd have to look at it.
You know what? I just let it here.
But Fluidra is one of the big ones as well.
Spirit? No.
Fluidra, like a Pool Corp is also a big one.
Pool Corp?
Yeah.
Okay. Those are some big players in the industry, right? Or suppliers. What did you call it?
Yeah, those are some big suppliers in the industry.
Almost there. What values drive their decision making?
I don't really know.
Because like you also have to think about it in this way. Like you're bringing a new tech, you're bringing something that they've not heard of, or they are probably like still getting to know about. So what values do you think would drive their decision making? Is it trust? Is it innovation? Are they looking for status? Are they looking to be like the first to welcome this technology? What values do you think would drive their decision making?
Money, I guess, is a big one.
Okay.
But aside from that, I'm not really sure.
Profits. I think efficiency, because you also mentioned stuff about not being there and being able to, yeah. And I also put innovation, because you're bringing voice agents.
Distractions, their phone in general.
Distractions?
Yeah, from mainly produced by their phone. Usually most of these pool builders, they have more than one job going on and they're juggling like multiple jobs at once and they can't. And that's like the issue with most pool builders right now, that they're juggling so many jobs at once that they just can't finish them.
Too much workload?
Not even workload. They get themselves into that situation. Take less jobs, but do them properly. And then they will get more and more customers through word of mouth. Because most of the pool builders right now, they have like really bad reviews because they just can't finish the jobs properly. It's like, okay.
That makes sense. So if you notice, So everyone watching, we've touched on two key aspects. The first one was more the fundamentals of your business. The second part was the psychology. And now we're moving into pain points. By the end of the day, when we build this context profile, it's going to be so in-depth and so comprehensive that you're just going to see it. I know I can't explain it. You're just going to see it for yourself. So what are the top three challenges they face in their day-to-day workflow? You mentioned
The phone.
Yeah.
So they're missing clients because they can't pick up the phone.
That's one.
They run into, I wouldn't say blockers, those are unforeseen fuck ups. So, like, for example, today, the excavator has to come in, but then they cancel. The concrete has to come in. So then they run into that unforeseen circumstance, which then cascades into them not being able to manage their team properly, not being able to have their clients well informed, and then everything is a mess because communication just breaks down.
Okay. Yeah. So what tasks feel repetitive, broken, and outdated? Missing calls or taking calls?
Taking calls, repeated, frequently asked questions, keeping the clients up to date with when they're going to be on site, keeping clients in the loop,
Okay.
right? Keeping their entire team on the same page.
So what's the cause of inaction? What happens if these problems remain unsolved?
They go out of business in general.
Okay. Lose reputation?
Yeah, exactly. Because of that,
Okay.
yeah.
Get bad reviews?
They lose business because they can't answer the phone.
Okay. So what have they already tried and failed to fix and solve this issue? What do you think some of them have tried? Probably hire.
They try to hire a receptionist.
Okay. Virtual assistants? Where do they lose time, money, or momentum in their business? What do you think they lose? They usually do that near they lose time. You mentioned something about phone,
Yeah. Their phone is their own worst enemy, honestly.
doom scrolling.
No, not doom scrolling.
Okay.
I think it's like when they're on the job, they're not really on the job. Their mind is elsewhere as well.
Okay. Like multitasking,
Yeah, too much multitasking, in my opinion.
juggling multiple.
Mhm.
Okay. What problem would they gladly pay to make disappear forever? Which of these problems do you think that they really want to just throw it away?
I think that the best one would be to offer them an AI answering service, voice agent.
What problem the voice agent is solving?
Whenever they are off the job, so like at 6 o'clock, you can put the AI assistant to work, and yeah, you can have a 24/7 caller.
Right now, let's talk about the purchase behavior and decision criteria. What triggers that buying decision? Is it the pain points? Is it the opportunity? Or is it the event? Based on what you've noticed.
I'm still trying to figure that one out.
Okay. Or what would you want to put? Should I put all of them?
Yeah.
But sometimes it could be a combination of all of them at the same time. Okay. So who else is involved in your buying decision? Do they have legal team they have to go, or do they take it themselves?
Yeah, usually they take themselves, people that are like within the company. Sometimes it's their wife that's managing the entire process, and you speak to them.
So family.
Yeah, family, the owner of the business. Yeah, I'd say the owner of the business. Not family. Just put the owner.
Yeah, I know. Okay. So what are some non-negotiable deal breakers for them? When buying a solution. Yeah.
Sometimes people don't want a virtual assistant, an AI assistant. So what I'm thinking is to basically just offer them whenever the phone rings and they can't pick up, then a text-based agent will answer for them. So non-negotiables, deal breakers are when you're just trying to take work away from them that they don't want to relinquish. That I feel is like a get the fuck out of my sight.
Okay. They don't want you to take away work that they don't want to relinquish. They still want to be in the loop.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Do they prefer DIY, DFY, DWY with your experience? Or no, what do you want to ICP?
Yeah, done for you, and option of, I had to say, option of retainer.
Okay. How do they evaluate and compare vendors or solutions?
They don't. It's a relatively untapped market, but there are competitors. I actually did one document on this as well because Butter just asked me to, and I did.
Okay. What is their budget range? What budget range do they usually allocate to solving this kind of problem?
I'm pitching for $3,200.
So minimum of what? It has to be a range, right? So what's the budget range? Yeah. What's the budget range? Like for problems like this, what would they usually typically allocate for stuff like this? If you're going to be hiring receptionists, you're going to be paying for some certain kind of stuff. Maybe you might have 2 receptionists working shifts. You know, you're paying 2 people at the same time. You're going to train them. You're going to probably give them the phones and whatever costs aside their fees. So they usually have a budget range. So you're going to be charging like, let's say 3K. You should have a range of what they typically would allocate to solve problems like this.
Okay. The receptionist would cost them like around about 2K a month, right? So I'd say between 2K to 5K. No? So if the solution is fully fixed, then yeah, for sure, a lot more. But if it's just to take the phone for them, I'd say between 1 to 3K, yeah.
Okay. What questions or hesitations do they raise during a sales conversation when you're talking to them?
I just mainly get told to fuck off, really. But they're like, okay, I need to think about this.
Budget? Is it a budget thing, or they don't see the value, or, you know?
They usually tell me that they want to think about it.
That's not good enough. You can't take that as a question or hesitation. What makes them want to think about it? Is it concerns about like application or implementation, or
That
might be a sales?
No. They're afraid that it won't perform how they expect it to.
Okay.
Yeah. Perceived likelihood of success, essentially.
All right, that makes sense. Okay. So what quantifiable outcome or result do they want the most? What does winning look like for them? More clients, improved quality, or something?
No, not so much. They really want more clients.
That's good.
And it's the only thing that they can really truly measure, isn't it?
Yeah, at the end of it.
So how will they know they've succeeded after using a solution? 2 new clients in the first month.
What long-term goals
As I said, they want to create a system that produces money for them with minimal input from them, and they want legacy.
Okay. That works. What will make them look good to their team, their boss, or their clients? This could be anything.
Maybe a good communication system, or what would they? I don't know, honestly.
Okay.
It's a good question. I have no idea.
No problem. What emotional benefits do they seek beyond the logical results? I think improve customer satisfaction.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, legacy. Like being really good at what they do.
Okay.
being known in the local area as a good person.
So what are their common objections? Aside
Timing.
being to
Timing, risk.
okay. It's never about the price. Because I don't really see that as a problem.
No, not really. As soon as I tell them, look, I make it the price not be a problem, because I always tell them, look, you can have your money back if I don't get you 2 new clients.
What are the unspoken or hidden fears about making the wrong choice?
That the AI will pick up and it will just say something silly. Also, one of their fears and one of the things that really sets them back is the fact that whenever people call them and they know it's an AI, that they will just hang up the phone.
Okay. What are past experiences have made them skeptical? Have they probably tried this before, or
Some of them have tried these kind of solutions before, but unsatisfactorily.
probably low quality? Because you'd probably be offering something better than that. Yeah. What will make them feel safe and confident about taking this action?
I think I need to build an AI agent that will answer the phone for them so they can actually demo it themselves. Building a demo, a good demo.
In a good time. All right. So now we're coming to the last part. What phrases or what do they naturally use to describe their problem or goals? Want to match how they talk or how they think, how they write. What since you've been talking to a couple of them, what word surfaces around when they talk? Because you'll be like something normal. What have you come across?
I don't really know.
Okay. So what tone of communication style do they prefer? Are they formal? Are they casual?
No, they're quite casual usually when they speak to me.
Do you know what kind of content they consume? Do they watch videos, case studies, shorts? If you ever like got any of them through inbound, how did they see you? Or where do you see them more? Are they on group chats?
Reddit.
No, Reddit. Okay.
Reddit. Yeah.
So what questions do they ask during awareness, considerations, and buying stages?
What do you mean when the awareness, consideration, and buying stages?
So like when they're at the point where probably you haven't gotten to that point, or maybe you have, but when they're actually like considering it or like they're about to make a choice, what questions do they ask? Like, how is this going to help me? Are you sure this is like, I
They,
lost
they,
picture
usually,
I see.
they usually have problems with, they usually just want to see it in action, really, to know that it's a good fit for them. I have an issue with A2P because I'm in Spain, so I should probably address that first.
Okay. So I'm saying that in action, you can't actually provide that in action because you have the A2P configurations and they've not been able to set that off, right?
I should be able to like get them talking to a voice agent. It's just that I can't really send them text-based notifications. So I can't really use SMS or WhatsApp with people in the US. I haven't checked with my own phone, I should check it later.
All right. So I think we got all we want. So we're going to map it all into JSON. So yeah, this is where the main work will come. The main work will actually just come in creating your ICP or maybe your offer, or depending on what you want, maybe your content. If we're doing this for like your tone, it's going to be how you actually do your outreach, right? How you create your products. If you're going to make it for offer, it's going to be like, what services do you offer? What price range? But this is for ICP. That's why the questions are targeted and they're fine tuned to fit into the clients that we're targeting. So now that we've gotten our answers, we can just paste it and can just say convert this into JSON. Let's go back. And
Bam.
There we go. This is everything you've mentioned. I'm just going to go over it from again. So this is a persona. So pool builder, business owner, CEO, founder. So now we have an ICP context profile. We've been able to compress everything we just did here, right, into an ICP context profile. So now the next thing that we're going to do is that we're going to create a landing page. Let's say, for instance, I want to use this to create a landing page. So now we have the context. Now we need the prompts, right? So I have here a framework for generating landing pages, right? So basically, it's just a simple prompt, right? You generate the complete landing page prompts tailored to a specific ICP in JSON format, optimized for conversion clarity with a modern UI UX. The output should be used for an AI front end, which is Lovable, right? So we want calendars for booking. For those of you that use Jarvis, like yourself, Ravi, you know that you can integrate your Go high level calendars and your forms and all your CTAs with what I'm about to do, right? So this is going to be very beneficial for people that have like Jarvis, because what you're saying today, you can just implement it immediately after the call. So you can get your calendars for booking, a lead capture form and all of this. And this is where we now paste in the ICP, right? And we're just going to hit run. So I'm just going to copy this, right? And create a new chat. And paste it. And paste it. Okay. I'm going to add, this is also in the prompts that we're going to put in, right? Your conversion focus landing page. And like I said, the prompts will be in the description. So this is how you get the landing page. The landing page must have the headlines, sub-headline, problem, section, solution, everything, right? So this prompt. So paste the both of them, and I'm going to put the input JSON. Input JSON. Okay, I'm going to get the JSON from here. I'm going to copy it. I think I have to do it again, but let me copy the JSON first. Here's the JSON, and now we have our context profile, we have the prompts, right? And we're going to just put it all together. Let me put that on top. I want to put the JSON on top. I'm going to click go. So now the AI has context of our ICP, and it has the framework that I use for creating landing pages with Lovable. So as you can see, it has started creating the prompts, right? Good. So now I'm going to copy this, head over to Lovable. And I'm going to just paste this in here. Remove this. So I've created, this is the prompt for Lovable, right? And I can also go ahead to put the ICP, because this is also an AI, right? So I can put the ICP here. So you see that the ICP can be used in any form or any tool that you're going to be using. So I'm just going to put it here. ICP context profile. And I click enter. And let's see what this AI is going to spin up. Now, because I've been able to feed it with the prompts, right? I've also been able to feed it with your ICP. So it knows how much the budget is. It knows their cost of inaction. It knows all their pain points. So it's not only going to make this output refined, but it's going to be personalized to them, if that makes sense. So you see, I'll create a high converting landing page for pool building business owners with professional design that evokes trust. This is what we have been able to create. So stop losing leads, automate your client calls, get a smart assistant that handles FAQs, book jobs, and keeps client happy, even while you're on side of the clock. Now, you can see 247 call handling. This was a problem that we mentioned in the ICP. Qualified leads only, automatic booking, team communication. And he also was able to generate this picture of the image. Lovable is amazing. So you can book your free AI demo, right? See how it works in just 15 minutes. Because you remember, you talked about like that being what they always wanted, right? So See, you can fill in your name, and this can tie into your Jarvis. For those of you that use Jarvis, you know what I'm talking about. So this information can now create a contact in the CRM. So instead of creating it on go high level, you can create it here, right? And we already have the automations built in to do the follow-ups, to do the calling, and to do everything from there. So now this is the next page. The old way is costing you money. Pool building business owners are drowning in operational chaos, losing qualified leads every single day. So you see all the pain points that we mentioned, right? Missing calls while dropping job sites. Every missed call is a potential customer going to your competition. Come on, guys. This has already taken everything like 90% there already, right? Repeating the same FAQs to every lead, wasting hours explaining pricing and timelines. So you've been able to give the AI enough context that it creates this masterpiece for you. Team communication failing and falling apart mid-projects, clients left in the dark while you're coordinating between subcontractors, right? So you've given it enough context. Wasting money on receptionists that don't scale, paying for coverage you don't need, or missing calls when you do, losing job faster, responding competitors. Yeah. So see, now it uses fact, it uses data, right? 72% of leads go to competitors who respond faster. 50K plus the average revenue loss for communication. People spend 20 hours per week on repetitive phone tasks. And if you remember in the question, you highlighted how phone was a big distraction. Now, how the phone is just like a big problem for them. So the new way, this is the old way. If you notice with the colors, the red, the old way. So now this is the new way. The new way changes everything. Smart automation that handles your busy work so you can focus on what you do best, building amazing flows. So it's speaking to them in the tone they want to hear, speaking to them in the language you want to hear. So we have AI that handles incoming calls for 7. You never miss out on another lead. Automatic updates to client and stick messages to your teams. Booked qualified leads directly on your calendar. No more distractions and all of that. And this is seeding. Actually, you click on it, it also takes you to the phone, right? So expected result in 30 days. 400% answer rates, 45% increase in qualified leads, 22 hours weekly time saving, and 2.2 times faster response. So pool builders are already winning. Don't take our word for it. That is the testimonial section, right? So it has actually gone ahead to design all of this, right? In a very cool and demure tone, right? Using the pool team, the cool blue team. So yes, ready to stop losing leads, book your free 15-minute call. Now, this would have been possible if, number one, we didn't have enough context. And number two, if I didn't have a framework, right? You remember the prompts I showed you on how to create a high converting landing page. Now, this is the high converting landing page. We even have a section for you to get a free guide. This is a lead magnet. Like if you click on this lead magnet, you're going to prompt them to submit their emails. That's how you collect their data. That's how you collect the lead information. That's part of lead generation as well. If they want to book a meeting, you click on this, you fill this information. When you click on book a demo, it opens the calendar. That's also integrated with Jarvis and all the follow-ups and everything. So this is how you're able to take just a simple prompt from 0 to 100. Now, I can assure you that if someone was randomly coming to Lovable and they wanted to build a website for a pool, like just say, hey, build me a landing page so a pool, make it cool and this and that. It's not going to give you something this detailed, right? It's not going to give you something this clean. And already, we can push this to production. Like you already have your Jarvis account, you could just maybe make some edits, put your logo here, add some branding or some tones and make the site functional. And already we've been able to take it from 0 to 100. So I believe with this, I've been able to show you guys the power of context profiles and how you can use context profiles. Yeah. So this is the back end. This is what Lovable did. This is the code. This is all the code in the back end. And then we switch. If you're a bit technical, maybe you want to go into the nitty-gritty like myself. Sometimes I can't help it. I find myself doing it. But these days, I let AI do everything. I see AI as my assistant, right? I tell it, do this, do that. This is basically it. Like I said, if you have Jarvis, you can connect this to your Jarvis. So once they submit it, it goes straight into your CRM. And you can also have the calendar. This is what is possible. So click on the problem, our solution, success stories. So you're just going to filter this, put in your testimonials or whatever you want. And you see the call to action, it stays at the top. It's using best practices. I can guarantee you that 70% of people don't really know like how to structure a website that gets high conversions. Or if you're using our framework, like the framework I just showed you, which will be available in the community, you're going to be able to get high winning converting websites. Yeah, man. The same thing applies for VSLs. You can get a very good VSL script, VSL like video sales letter, and you just go with the script. the script is going to be targeted to your ICP. It's going to explain your offer more in depth. So I think those are the first few things you should do. Get your ICP context profile, get your offer context profile, get a tone context profile. And then with three of them combined, you can create VSLs, you can create email copies, you can create LinkedIn posts, any type of thing like you're trying to do. So yeah, guys, that's basically it.